Hey guys, Trevor Holt here. It's Sunday, the 8th of December, the month rolling on by in the lead up to Christmas. I hope everyone's trying to get into the festive spirit or holiday season. Today's day 15, day 15 of my fast. I sent a letter to Mr. Graeme Bolton, the acting as Director General, Department of Primary Industries, on the 24th. A simple letter. I didn't get any acknowledgement or any response at all after 7 days. So I sent him a notice. And I vowed I'm not eating until I get a response. So this is what these guys do. They just delay, and just have a strategy of just ignoring. And obviously the rot starts at the roots of the tree, because this guy, Graeme, is the roots of the whole organisation, and he's a top guy. Simple letters or a simple response or acknowledgement to look into these things shouldn't be that hard. These guys are on like $500,000 a year of taxpayers' money, so simple letters and simple responses should be quite achievable for them. I'm not asking for the how to launch a rocket into space. I've just got a few simple questions. So I've got the letter here, or the notice here, that I sent. I'll just go through it here today. So Mr. Graeme Bolton, take notice. I've not received any acknowledgement or response to a letter addressed to you dated 24th of November 2024 regarding adverse effects experienced by my company, Hold Technologies Pty Limited, ABN 96109935891, and 3 businesses: Genesis Novell, Pastures and Agriculture, Amber Resolve, and Australian Advocacy Group, as a direct result of the Fire Ant Eradication Program. I bring the following to your attention to make sure you are aware. 1. Genesis Novell, Pastures and Agriculture. 2 dead calves resulted from the repeated and excessive exposure to toxic chemicals distributed on my land, neighbouring properties and in waterways feeding my cattle's drinking water. Amber Resolve, Counselling and Mental Health Practitioning and Personal Empowerment. Advocacy Manager for clients experiencing mental health challenges because of the program. Australian Advocacy Group, advocating against the prophylactic treatment of properties in the eradication zone against private property owners' consent. Advocating against aerial distribution of toxic chemicals, especially in areas not suitable for fire ants to successfully establish colonies. And providing alternatives to chemical treating management fire ants. I require your truthful, not misleading, by commission or omission reply to the following questions in this serious matter. A. Do you agree that the safety and well-being of my livestock and animals in my care living on my private property deserve clean, toxic-free drinking water, and every effort should be made to ensure zero risk of pollution occurs in their supply of water? B. Will you confirm that the bioaccumulation of the toxic chemicals distributed to prophylactically treat fire ants is unknown? The effects of bioaccumulation in my susceptible Galloway cattle is likely to cause harm, and all efforts should be made to avoid exposure of these chemicals to my cattle, including in their drinking water. Do you understand the chemicals used by the Fire Ant Eradication Program, creates adverse effects and death, and is toxic lifelong to aquatic life, including fish, crayfish and mussels? etc. Refer to the safety data sheet. Do you understand the activities of prophylactically distribution of toxic chemicals in and around the waterways feeding my dam and upstream catchment areas in the mountains are causing harm to my livestock and aquatic life in my dam? E. Will you instruct people at the head of the field officers of the program to cease activities of prophylactic distribution of toxic chemicals in and around the waterways feeding my dam and upstream catchment areas in the mountains to protect my susceptible animals and aquatic life, and follow the precautionary principle, the principle of proportionality and the principle of primacy of prevention as per section 6A of the Environmental Protection Act 1994 regarding the distribution of these chemicals than the documented permit supplied by the APVMA? F. Will you introduce a full, fair and transparent investigation into the death of my calves, including subsequent insurance claims, including reimbursement of water quality tests, vet bills and necropsy reports, which consider all the facts, including bioaccumulation of these toxins in my cows causing embryo and fetus development problems during pregnancy. 2. Acknowledgement that the effects of these chemicals is dependent on individual circumstances, exposure, weather and susceptibility of animals in the distribution zone. This includes the exposure to the chemicals in their drinking water, feeding area, in the specific soil of my farming operations, which are high levels of urea and manure from livestock, small acreage farming. 3. The distribution of toxic chemicals on my neighbouring properties and waterways, which will feed my dam and water supply of my animals. Initiating a scope of the investigation where an in-person meeting can be organised to establish facts and points which should be covered in the investigation and create a written document and agreed on what the investigation should cover. G. Will you provide an appropriate advocacy management program that incorporates and acknowledges the mental health difficulties the program is causing my clients? H. Will you provide a structure where questions provided on behalf of my clients are answered in a timely manner? I. Will you acknowledge and have the program accept the patented technology and associated know-how of Dr. Joshua King and the University of Florida as one viable solution to manage fire ants throughout infested areas of Australia? J. Will you organise fair and just subsidies and private residents who wish to treat their property with fire ants using the patented technology and associated know-how of Dr. Joshua King and the University of Florida? Will you add the option of using patented technology and associated know-how of Dr. Joshua King and the University of Florida in the advertising media used by the program? Do you have any duty of care to safeguard the good health of all people, animals, bees and the environment in all the eradication areas by ensuring safe chemicals are provided and approved? M. Should you admit to having a duty of care and any people, animals, bees or the environment are harmed, what compensation will be paid by any organisation you work for or you personally will pay in the event of such harm being proven, possibly in a court competent jurisdiction? And N. Are some chemicals which are approved here in Australia not approved in Europe? So take further notice that due to the extreme urgency of this matter, I require your written, autographed, truthful, not misleading by omission or commission, full referenced answers and reply to be in my possession by close of business on the 16th of December 2024. So there's just a few questions, a few basic questions. Nothing too serious. He should be all over this sort of stuff. Because of the should I not receive a response by the close of business, I shall consider a tax agreement to the following. So I've got some default answers there, so a no response will be a response. So at the end of the day, it's a little bit of a clause. So if I don't get a response by the 16th, then obviously he's incompetent for starters, but and he shouldn't be in the position he's in. But there's some default answers there, and we'll go through the process and make sure that he's aware that they're the responses that he's providing by not responding. But I had some I had a meeting with my local member, Jim McDonald. I felt it went okay. He stated that he wasn't going to support the state-sponsored petition. He still believes that eradication is possible and all efforts should be done to eradicate fire ants, though he doesn't really support the current approach in treating where there's no fire ants. So I felt that meeting went pretty well in regards to talking to Jim about my hot water treatment method with the license from the University of Florida. So I've got the Australian first and only licensed fire ant hot water treatment machine under Josh King's patented concept in America. So it's quite really exciting. So Jim McDonald said he was going to support that and lobby that and try and get everyone hands on deck. And he's right, it doesn't matter what process you're using to kill fire ants. If your goal is to eradicate fire ants, you should be doing whatever you can. And I feel by having an alternative solution to chemicals, more people will report fire ants on their property. Because what's happening now is people that have got fire ants on their property that don't wish to be treated with chemicals don't report them because there's a chemical only approach. So by providing alternatives to suit with individual circumstances and of individual property owners and circumstance, then I feel that you've got a better chance of getting somewhere with this fire ants. But unfortunately, I haven't had any luck in trying to secure a meeting with the Minister for the Department of Primary Industries. And it's very unfortunate, really. I've requested 3 or 4 times. Often I didn't get a response. One time I got a response saying that, yeah, we noticed that we got a meeting with Jim, so you don't need a meeting with us too. But a lot of my issues are to do with the Department of Primary Industries, so it makes sense to talk about these issues with the Minister for Department of Primary Industries. So I had a look at LNP, the new government that we got in power at the moment here in Queensland, and their values, the worth and dignity of every individual, the priority of helping the marginalised, and public and personal integrity in underpinning a society in which people of different beliefs and culture live in peace and harmony with each other, contributing to the common good, respecting others and taking seriously their obligations as Australians. So I don't feel we're being respected with our views in regards to prophylactic treatment on private property. I believe it's a breach of our human rights. I feel it's a breach of our privacy, and I feel it's a breach of our property rights. So smaller government, another value of the LNP, smaller government with its emphasis on facilitating the potential of people, catalysing their intuition and to do good, and encouraging rather than stifling initiative. This helps shape a community open to new ideas, supporting innovators and risk takers, and valuing entrepreneurs. Economic and social as fundamental to vibrant and prosperous community. So I'm an entrepreneur. I've invested in technology that has been proven in the United States. I brought it here to Australia to fight fire ants and to provide alternative to chemical treatment, which is what's causing people so much mental health issues. I've done that on my own back, on my own coin, and at the moment I'm being stifled, literally stifled by the government's propaganda in their advertising for the fire ant eradication program, which clearly states that hot water doesn't work. And this is based on their pseudo-science test where they tip between 3 and 5 gallons of water on an ant's nest. This is not the process that we're using at the, under Dr. King's patented license. Now it's proven. And unfortunately, I've been stifled. I've been misrepresented, and the technology has been misrepresented, and they're not. What's the word here? They're not encouraging me and this initiative. So another value that the LNP have is the right to property, private property. The right to private property and the right to be rewarded for effort, recognising that in exchange, freely undertaking, both parties will benefit. The encouragement and facilitation of wealth flows through the people enjoying the highest possible standards of living, health and education, and a society which provides opportunity for all to support those in need. So they're for private property rights and a sustainable environment, balancing the need to be productive while preserving our natural assets to be enjoyed by future generations. So a lot of these values that LNP put on their website are being thrown out the door with this fire ant eradication program. And although they're new to government, now they've only been there about a month or so, it's time to look at all these issues and try and get some resolves. Because when you look at their beliefs, they believe that encouragement of individual initiative and private enterprise as a dynamic force of progress. Here I am, a private operator, got a fire ant eradication, a fire ant management system with hot water treatment that's licensed and backed by science, and it's not supported. So these are some of the issues that I'm trying to work with now, and it's very unfortunate because these guys are public servants. Especially the Department of Primary Industries and the head of these guys, they should be able to, knock out a letter and say, at least say, oh look, Trevor, we're looking at this. We're sorry to keep you waiting. These questions didn't start on the 24th of November. They started months earlier with the program, and you just go through this loop of despair with them. So it's like dealing with a religious cult of just innuendo and misinformation and false statements. So, and that's all they do. Delay, deny, blame, and that's how they're working their program, which is quite unfortunate. But anyway, so today's I can only keep campaigning, and that's the best I can do. That's all I can do, and for those that are struggling with mental health issues as a result of this program, I apologise immensely, and you shouldn't be put in these positions where, especially this time of year, where a lot of families are struggling as well. So I'm going to write a letter to the Queensland representative. What is it? The representative of the Queen anyway, Jeanette Young, I think it is, in Queensland, and there's also a federal one as well. But I'm going to write a letter to them to try and see if we can put a stop to this program or halt to the program over the Christmas break, just to give some people a bit of mental health relief through the festive season. So that's probably the next step, and write a letter to the Premier and the Minister for Agriculture, CC, my local member Jim, who I feel's going okay, but about their values and how what's happening with the fire ant eradication program is actually breaching them values. So Governor General, that's it. So yeah, it's the Governor General of Queensland and the Governor General of Australia, just to try and get some help on this issue, because they're very important issues. So I do apologise to anyone that's going through any mental health problems, and I know there are hundreds, possibly thousands of you guys out there, and I know government trust is at an all-time low, but rest assured I'm here to do what I can to create greater outcomes, and that's what I do, and feel free to reach out any time. But so back to day 15. So it's day 15 now of my fast, and for those that are interested, I don't feel too bad. Haven't eaten a single calorie since I wrote the letter on the 24th of November. So So it was the 23rd, I think it was the night of the 23rd was my last meal. So day 15. So the first week I was probably averaging about a kg per day, and then it stifled down quite substantially, and now the last few days has been only 200 grams per day of loss, weight loss. So overall, that's only about 8 kg loss over the, and this is day 15, so over the 2-week period, it's over 2 weeks now. So I feel once you get through that first couple of days, and that's my experience prior as well, it's pretty easy to get, you know, day 3 and day 4 seems to get easier. But once you sort of pass that 1 week mark, food hasn't really been on my mind. It hasn't really worried me too much, and I feel pretty safe within my own body. I suppose the fact that I'm only losing 200 grams a day and I've still got a few kgs, you know, above my old ideal weight to play with. So I'm not getting malnourished in that fact. I'm keeping up my vitamins in the morning, and this time compared to other times when I fasted, I quit everything except water. This time I have been drinking black coffee, which still has no calories, but it does help with my mental alertness, and enables me to continue. So I'm still working full time. I'm still doing everything that I do, and I you know, I'm not feeling any lightheadedness or anything like that. So, but I'm still doing some studies. I'm a little bit behind on my studies, but I'm going to try and catch up this week. A few assignments due this week, so I've got to really focus on that. But other than that, things are going good. I've been fighting fire ants with my machine again, and doing the best I can to create better outcomes and try to stop this reckless distribution of poisonous chemicals prophylactically. And that's a big goal of mine, and I'm going to continue down that path. But anyway, guys, if you want to learn more about fasting, or you want to learn more about you know, managing some of your mental health challenges, like I said, it's very important to understand your circle of influence, and as an individual we can only do so much, and it's important to acknowledge that we can campaign, we can talk to the people in power, we can come up with different strategies, we can try and lobby governments or whatever, but yeah, we can only do what we can do as individuals. So I feel not getting too carried away with trying to do things that you can't do. But in regards to this campaign, we're getting thousands of support, and I feel the more public pressure we put on there, the more successful we'll be. But just remember, when you're dealing with your own issues or your own problems, just to try and deal with things that are within your control, and generally they're within yourself. Your you know, your diet, your exercise, you know, you're getting outdoors, you making an effort to go and talk to people, drinking plenty of water, all these little choices in life, or little things that you can do to get better outcomes, you know, good sleep patterns, all these sort of things, and they can create better outcomes in your life, and just working on them. But anyway, guys, that's me today. As per normal, out on my walk, doing my thing. But yeah, like I said, feel free to reach out and chat if you need to chat. And I'll see you next time. Cheers, bye.